David and Patrice, just a thought on coming in here up 2-0 for the first time in these playoffs, and your mentality as a team and what you need to do to come up with a win tonight.
Well, we know it'll be a tough game. This building gets pretty loud, and we haven't seen the best from Carolina yet, so we expect our best tonight.
Same. I think our mentality hasn't changed. It's one game at a time, and we know that, like Krejci said, we know it's going to be a tough game tonight, and they're going to come out hard, especially at home. So we got to be ready.
More questions? Right side.
Just to follow up on that question, you're going to see that desperation from this team tonight. How do you raise your own level of play even more so, knowing that you're the team that's up 2-0 and coming into this building? Both of you guys would be great if you want to start, Patrice.
Well, I think it's at this time of the year, every game, every inch is important. So that's how I think you raise that level. You got to elevate from one game to the next and get better. And obviously, on both sides, we're watching video. We try to adjust to some of the tendencies that we're seeing. So we know they're doing that. So like I said, it's about making sure you have a strong start and weather the storm, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Game 3, that's a big game, right? We're ready for it here. We try to get better each game. Work on things like Bergie said. So that's a big one. Momentum changes pretty quickly in playoffs. That's a big difference between being up 3-0 or 2-1 and playing Game 4 here again. So we know they'll be desperate, but we've been playing desperate hockey pretty much the whole playoffs. So.
Dan, left side.
Patrice, the Hurricanes thrive on their forecheck. They thrive when they get the puck and they keep it below the dots. What have you guys done particularly well 2 games that you can believe you can carry in 3 to limit, to stop their aggressiveness on the forecheck?
Well, to me, it starts with taking care of the puck. Once you have it, I think our defensemen are doing a good job of making that first play and beating, try to beat the forecheck anyways. And for us as forwards, is try to buy them time. So try to have a little bit of skin on them and make them kind of slow down on their forecheck. It's not an easy thing to do. They're coming hard at all times, and I think our defensemen are doing a great job of breaking the puck out with their legs, basically.
Kevin, right side.
Patrice, David, both of you had great success over the years at the draw. The last game especially, Corrali and Coyle, their numbers were really good. Do you guys, as a group of centers, talk about it, work on it together, or is it just sort of baked into the cake at this point?
Yeah, we definitely talk about it. In playoffs, you don't practice much, so there's not much time to practice it, but we do talk about it before game, between periods. Bergie's going against certain guys, so when I go out there, when I get stuck in a D zone after icing or anything, just ask around and just kind of get a feel for, what's the best way to beat that guy. So we definitely talk about it.
So it's technique you talk about as well?
Yeah.
In terms of,
yeah, how to beat him, how to not lose it clean. You can't always win the face-off clean. Sometimes you gotta tie him up if you tire, or there's different types of face-offs. So we definitely talk about it.
Same, yeah. I think it's talking about, you're asking about technique. I think it's also tendencies. I think it's the biggest thing. Every centerman's got their own tendencies, and they're doing certain things against, and we're both righties, so it helps to talk about it and see what each other are seeing against a particular center and go from there. So yeah, communication is huge that way.
Right side in the middle.
You talked about this building, the problems that it can present. 10 years ago, you were in this building. Is there anything back then that you can remember that you can apply to today to help some of the younger players experiencing this for the first time, or is what you've already gone through to this point experience enough?
I think you always try to rely on the experience that you've gained over the years. I think that particular year, we've talked about it. They're a good team at home, and they play hard and they come out strong, and it's the crowd is really into it as well. So it is something that we've talked about that needs to be talked about even before a game. And but that being said, you know, I think nothing that we haven't seen either. You know, we've been in Toronto, we've been in Columbus, where you know, they were going and they were basically relying on their home ice and playing really well at home, and that was a tough feeling to be a part of, and everyone responded. So hopefully we can do the same thing.
Any more questions for the guys? Take one more, last one.
Just when you get into a situation like this, coming into this building and loud, just the confidence level you have, knowing that your goaltender has been so locked in and almost getting better from game to game through this postseason, how does that make you guys feel as a group?
Well, to explain really well. But I think our forwards blocking shots, getting in the lanes, these blocking out guys, they don't really get them getting on the inside. So, like I said, Tuuk's been playing really well. But going into this game, like I said before, momentum changes pretty quickly with a good shift or quick call. So we know in this building it's going to be tough. So got to make sure we play the right way and try to get a first goal.
You know, to me, it's his poise, the way that he's really calm, and you know, when you see a guy like that, you know, back there, and he's basically the backbone of your team, it calms everything down, and that's kind of what you need in the playoffs. You know, you're playing some really good teams, and they're going to get their way sometimes. So when it does happen, I think you know, relying on the experience, but also on being calm and finding ways to be better and not panicking is huge, and I think that's pretty much a footprint of Tuuk's.